Welcome to the Ridgecrest Lost and Found podcast, a place where we talk about random things with random people. Except sometimes they're not random, sometimes they're people we really care about. My name's Logan.
I'm Steven.
And today, we're back.
3 times. Boy.
New season.
3 times.
We're getting after it.
Wait, this is a new season?
This is a new season?
What is
No,
that?
but like it's our third season. Weather
Yeah.
season.
I thought you were talking about like...
When I post this episode, I have to put season number.
No, we don't do
in.
that.
I do that.
I know, but we're going to be like season 1,
For the rest of our
episode
lives.
1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
when you get to 1,000, then we'll roll it over.
you need to know that you can't just spit out like we're on our 3rd season and like
I feel like some people do that.
and not cause me
Oh, yeah.
a little.
TV shows, I feel like, these days, just be making... like
Just random.
Used to, you'd be like... You're like binging a show, and like a season would have 40 episodes.
Right.
And then now, it's like... These Netflix shows will be like 6, or like the Star Wars shows on Disney Plus, like 8 episodes in a season. I'm like,
Right.
I want to be watching this for a long time.
For days.
A lot of that's just because of the culture of television now. There's so many more limited series and stuff.
Now,
like
do you
that.
like? Do you? The thing I like about the Disney Plus, I'm a Star Wars guy, so like Mandalorian, Ahsoka, all those. The thing I like about them is I like spending the week waiting on the next episode.
Yeah.
And all the students in student ministry that I talk to, they're like, "No, I want to watch it all. I want to have it all come out at once."
Yeah.
But all those kids grew up with Netflix.
That's what I mean.
And
They don't know my show. I liked Psych a lot in high school. That was like my
Psych is the
Psych,
best
so
show
good.
ever.
great middle school, high school. That was my favorite show. And I mean, I remember it for a while. It was stupid. It came on Wednesday night, so I'd go to church, and I'd have to rush home from church because it started at we ended at 6:30. It started at 7, and I'm like I had to make sure I get home because I'm like it starts. I got to know, and I'm like I remember that was fun. And for these kids, they're just like I'll watch the whole season.
Yeah, they'll watch all 250 episodes of Psych in a month.
Yep.
And be like, it was great. Moving on.
It's an interesting conversation because a lot of what goes around the culture of shows and television and fandoms and everything has to do with being in that moment together. Like the thing that I think of, like WandaVision.
Oh, I was literally about to say it.
Mm-hmm. Being a fan of WandaVision while it was airing was wild.
Oh, I have YouTubers that I picked up during that time of like, what is this going to be? Look at this Easter egg we found. We think it's going to lead here.
Everyone thought the devil was going to show up every single week.
Mephisto. They're like, Mephisto will be
Yeah.
there. And you're like, I don't know, man. That'd be kind of crazy. Yeah. And then they thought, the Quicksilver actor was there. And so that was...
that was what was crazy, is they brought in the other Quicksilver.
Yeah.
And then didn't even...
Did nothing with it.
No.
Oh, yeah. No, so...
They just paid him a sum of money to show up and drop bombs.
I don't think that guy's just like Tom Cruise.
No, I think it was.
You think it's hard to get him? You don't think you think he was like, I don't know. I don't really want to have work.
I think he was like, give me $20,000, I'll pop in, put the makeup on, do the thing.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, it's something about that though. Like I said, I still have a YouTuber that I watched that started in that I enjoyed every week. As soon as I watch the episode, I go watch his like live stream reaction. And then the same thing with Mandalorian and all that. It's like, but it used to, when we were younger, it was, you would do that with your friends. You'd be like, oh, did y'all watch, who do y'all think is going to like do this? You know what I mean? That's used to be how it works. And now it's like Outer Banks. I remember we watched Outer Banks and it's like, you would talk about it after the season. You'd be like, so what do you think is going to happen next season? Like we used to do episodes. Now the kids do in like seasons. And it's like, it'll be a year before that season comes out.
Yeah.
But
And I think there's a case to be made for both. But I think, like, if something's just a really good story that is experienced well in one sitting and isn't enhanced necessarily by that suspense or by the intrigue, I think that's fine to be a bingeable show. But I think when it comes down to something where it is an event for like a bunch of fans of something, or if it's something that poses a lot of those questions, I think those breaks, like the weekly release schedule, I think it makes the show better. I think like WandaVision and shows like that are heightened by the conversation.
Yeah,
100%.
definitely. I don't think I would have been nearly as into WandaVision's the best because that was like kind of COVID-y, if I remember right, and it was
the first show.
It was the first show back. It was the first.
It was the first
Marvel
show
too. Yeah, and it was like the first new thing we'd had in a minute.
Yep.
And I remember being like, I wouldn't be this into it if I didn't have to theorize each week what was going to happen.
Absolutely.
Anyways.
And that one, yeah, WandaVision was crazy for me as a non-fan because you had no freaking clue what was going on.
Oh yeah, I remember the first 3 episodes. I was like, what? Or like when it was like black and white and all that, and you're like, what is this show? And that was kind of, in a way, gutsy by them. And they start their first show with that, and they did not let you in on the joke at first. You thought like, I know people that were like, oh, I'm not into that show. It's like black and white's weird, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna change.
They didn't let on to it for 4 episodes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They let a month go by of people being like, this show stinks, and then you're like, oh, and all of that was like, yeah. Anyways, so before the pod, we were talking. I think so. I'm hungry right now. Logan's trying to force me to eat, but I'm not doing gluttony.
As you do.
At some point next year. So I'm on a bulk right now. I'm trying to gain a bunch of weight. That's my goal. I want to get to 210. I weigh 190 right now. Started at like 175.
Is that tough for you? Moving weight?
Yeah. It's very tough to eat a lot for me. I'm not I haven't eaten today, and it's very. If that's my default. My default would be like I don't eat till dinner. Like I just like don't, and then I eat once a day, and then I'm good. But on a bulk, you start tracking calories. You ever track your calories?
Yep.
It's very hard to eat enough if you're trying to eat like 170 grams of protein a day. It's very hard.
Yes. Eating enough protein, like a protein per pound of body weight, is the toughest.
Yeah, and so I've been trying to do that, and I mean, it's rough. So there's days like today. I've just been busy. I've been working in your world, Stephen. We have our Christmas broadcast it has to be on. We're putting on WLBT on Sunday.
I worked at WAPT.
The enemy.
But they want closed captions on it.
Yeah.
And they wanted it today at noon, and we filmed it Sunday. Mm-hmm. And so Jake is our video guy. He's editing everything. Because we didn't live stream it. We filmed it separately. So he has shots from the ground that he's editing in and doing all that. So he's doing all the video stuff. And so I feel pity on him. He's a good pal to me. And so I'm in there doing I got up there at 7 this morning and finished doing all the closed captioning for all the stuff, just all that in Premiere and all that kind of stuff. It's not fun. It's kind of fun actually, but it's not. But anyways, so today, I've just been busy, whatever, didn't eat. I want to next year. I want to do a 7-day only water.
Oh, there we go. But that's obviously not in the bulk.
No, this would just be a thing I would do separate. But still work out every day, still do everything. 7 days only water. I saw somebody say it was good for you on something.
The only thing about that would worry me is the lack of electrolytes, like just no salt or anything like that.
I pop a rock salt in.
There you go.
Once a day.
It was lack of electrolytes that caused that big
my full body cramp. Yeah.
You got a full body cramp?
I ever told you that story?
No.
I already told it on the podcast. Basically, we were doing 2-a-days, but the way that our coach got away from 2-a-days is that we would have a practice. We would run through plays. So it was like a walkthrough at lunch. Mm-hmm. So we were really doing 3-a-days. And one day it was super hot. We were about halfway through the 2-a-day season. And they were just drink water, drink water, drink. And we had, the cows, the.
Yeah, I know about.
It's like pressurized water canister that shoots water.
Yeah, it has a bunch of tubes off.
Yeah, that's why it's called a cow. But so they were drink water, drink. And so I drank so much. It's one of those where I'm just living over by that cow udder, just shooting water. And I felt fine. And then got through all 3 practices, went home. And when I went home, I remember I was sitting on the couch. And I reached for the remote, and when I reached for the remote, my fingers started cramping, and so they started throwing up gang signs, and then forearm cramped, and then my hamstring cramped, and my hamstrings used to cramp all the time, and so I throw that leg out, and then my quad cramped, and you don't know what to do, so you just pick one. So I picked my quad, so my quad is just sinking up into my hip flexor, and it just slowly spreads all over my body to the point where I'm.
What did you do?
And-
How did it stop? Just eventually stops?
No. So I
No, it's still going.
I finally got to the phone. We had the cordless phone, and so I called my dad. I don't know why I didn't call my mom. My mom was a nurse. And so he comes home, and like the souvenir cups you get like a ball game, like what used to be like the biggest cups you had.
Mm-hmm.
Now we all have Stanleys that are freaking 50 ounces.
No, mine are movie cups. I still get.
Same.
yeah.
So I drank 6 of those full of water,
And it didn't help?
It didn't help. And I was like, oh crap. So then we decided to call my mom, and she drove home from the hospital, and she stopped by Fleet Feet and said, hey, my son's cramping. Like, what do we need to get for him? I don't know why she thought Fleet Feet. I guess because they're runners. Mm-hmm. And they just gave me a little Noon tablet, a little electrolyte tablet. It has like 300 grams of sodium in it. And I drank one of those, and I mean, it was like instant. Like, drank it, and probably 2 minutes later, body just relaxes.
That's crazy.
And then I peed clear for the next day.
Peed every 20 minutes.
I peed just about every 30 minutes. I think I peed 6 times in a row.
That's another thing that I've learned doing. Drinking enough
closer
water.
to your face.
Oh, sorry. Drinking enough water. I started because I've never been a water drinker.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my pee has been like orange for years, and so I'm like, I'm gonna drink enough water. I'm gonna do like 2 liters a day, 3 liters a day. I don't know what you're supposed to do. And I'm like, no wonder all these people are always, because I would go the whole day and just not pee at work.
And you see people peeing every 10 minutes, and you're like, what are you doing?
Like Russ, every 20 minutes, like when we are on like a trip, like going to camp or whatever, every 30 minutes, Russ texts me and like, hey, we gotta stop, I gotta pee. And I'm like, how? I'm like, I'll go an 8-hour drive and never pee. Yeah. But then I started drinking enough water. I'm like, no wonder all these people
moving it up.
No wonder all these people are
I see you
peeing all the time. Yeah, Steven's got us self-conscious about our mic.
Mic etiquette.
I'm gonna just hold it the whole time.
You should do 75 hard. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard of that. I don't want to read that much.
The 10 pages.
The 10 pages is a lot. I mean, my thing with reading, if I'm gonna read, I'm gonna read the Bible, and I know that's Christian of me, but it's enough of a thing I hate. I hate it so much. And
even then, reading 10 pages of the Bible every day is a lot.
Yeah, because that's not even fair. Like, they get the little words and the columns, and that's not
the columns.
Same. Well, can I get a Bible that's a regular? Why don't they make that?
I'm sure they do. But I think because it'd be so huge.
Yeah, you're right.
Because even with the super thin pages, it's 1,000 pages.
They have those cute little books of the Bible now you buy that are like, talking about those cute little ones. I've been thinking about buying those and giving those out as prizes or something, but they're like $20 a piece. But I'm like, it's a cool little.
Some little girl gets like Nehemiah, and she's like, I don't know what to do with this. Yeah, I didn't think about that. I enjoyed that aspect of it.
Did you do it?
Mm-hmm.
What was hard? All of it?
I didn't make it through a lot of times. I failed probably 10 times.
I'd say I would have thought a lot would be like 30 times.
No, I didn't fail 30 times. The hardest part was I got to day 50 something, like 56 or something. And
you're talking about I thought you were talking about you did 75 days and you failed 10 out of the 75 days. You're talking about you started over.
No, the way 75 hard works is that if you don't complete it on a certain day, you start over.
Oh, goodness.
And so there were a lot of those. I went to like day 2 or day 4 and messed up. I got to day 26, I think it was 26, and I failed and I had to start over. And then there was one day where I almost missed a day, and it was like day 56, and I legit almost cried because I was like, if I got to 56, I can't do it anymore. Like I just, but when you get to like day 50 and 60, for some people it's like, oh, this is just what I do now. For me, it was extremely difficult to finish.
So it's 2 workouts a day.
2 workouts a day. One has to be outside. Mm-hmm. You read 10 pages of a self-help book. Mine was just nonfiction. I opened it up. You have to follow a diet. You have to.
What did you follow, if you don't mind me asking?
I tried to hit a protein goal. I tried to get over 200 grams of protein a day. I kept the diet super vague because if I had really crunched on the diet, I would have never done it. Mm-hmm. It's just
200 grams of dude. I'm telling you, that is so, like, if you've never tried to do it, 200 grams of protein. Number one, you can never ever miss breakfast. You miss breakfast, dunzo.
Yeah, there's no chance. And even then, I should be higher than that because I'm 300 pounds. So even my lean body
You look
mass.
good for 300 pounds.
Thank you. My lean body mass is like 220, or that's my muscle mass and stuff. And so just because eating 300 grams of protein is crazy. Even eating over 200 is crazy.
I mean, you're talking about that. Every single day that I hit my protein goal, I'm laying in my bedroom floor, almost throwing up after I like drink a shake or something to like.
Well, you and me are different. We're the opposite when it comes to stomachs, because it is so easy for me to eat over, but even me dropping, like for me, my maintenance calories are around 25 to 2,400. Me dropping to 2,300 is very difficult for me.
Gotcha.
Like I feel it a lot.
Yeah, I was trying to eat like a little over 3,000 a day, and because I'm very active, especially when I'm playing tennis a lot. There in the summer, I was playing tennis 4 days a week, and working out as well. So right now my schedule is, I've learned. I read a book. We have staff books we have to read. So between those books and the Bible, I don't do much more reading.
Yeah.
So we have staff book, and one of the staff books was talking about, everyone in the Bible, or like most of the influential people in the Bible, like or not most, but a lot of them, it talks about like them spending time with God to start their day in the morning. David a lot of times, and there's other people in the Bible that it talks about that. Jesus, people always talk about he went away and isolated himself in the at times, but it talked about. It was an old book. It was Bonhoeffer that wrote it, and he talked about that. And I was like, I challenged myself this year how I want to be in a morning, and I hate mornings. I would sleep till noon every single day if I could. And so I've been waking up at 4:30. I work at the club up here by the big Kroger,
and it's probably still crowded at 4.
It's not that bad. It's if you get in there late and you're in there past 6 though.
Yeah.
Pack a lunch if you want to bench or anything. Like it's miserable. But so I get in there at I get up at 4:30. I get in the gym parking lot at 4:50. Stare at my windshield for 10 minutes and hate my life. And then the guy I work out with, David, he pulls up and he just is an animal. And so he just rolls right in. And I say I go every day. Probably 3 out of the 5 days a week I actually go in the morning, and that's good for me. And then I work out the other 2 days. I'll go in the afternoon or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know. The 75 hard would be a challenge.
The other thing was drink a gallon of water a day. And honestly, the hardest part, besides just being consistent doing the whole thing, was drinking a gallon of water a day. And I did it in the summer. If I had to drink a gallon of water now, when like it's cold and I'm just not sweating as much, I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, it will, especially it also.
And take a progress pic.
Every day?
Every day. Also did not like that.
You don't like that? Oh, I like taking
I did. It's not like I was self-conscious. It's the fact of like, and this is probably why it was, I didn't want to do a mirror selfie, which was stupid. So Megan had to take a picture of me every single day. And it just remembering to tell her and us finding a way to do it got to be super old.
Well, I've been taking progress pics. I take one every couple weeks. But my problem is they're on my phone, and then you're showing somebody on your phone something.
And they're just shirtless pictures.
And they're just shirtless pictures of me. And I'm like, I have like like a friend back home that we like have a group chat that we like will send. It's like 2 or 3 of us, and we'll like send our like progress pics in there for like accountability and stuff.
Well, you've seen my phone. You've looked at my photos.
You did that one time, and I was like, one time I was showing somebody from the church something, and it was like and I was like, and they didn't see it, but I was like, I'm glad they weren't like, I was like trying to find a picture to show them of like Maggie or something, and I was like, man, I'm glad they didn't see that like, 4 pictures in a row that are like me flexing in the mirror and like think I'm like a guy that.
Well, that's the thing is I'm taking one every day, so it's like every other picture is just me shirtless.
For 75,
me shirtless just doing this.
Yeah, and so that is a weird part. I'm like, I have an album that I put them in, but I'm like, I would like them off of my like.
Yeah, your all.
Can I not
thing.
delete it from all photos? But it won't let you do that. So yeah, that's odd. Anyways, y'all having a good holiday season so far? Y'all been doing
great.
Stuff?
The holidays are always stressful for me. Oh gosh, but that's just because of family stuff. Like not family stuff like my parents. I hate them, but just for me because everyone's local. It's because even Michaela's parents aren't local anymore. They're not around here, right?
An hour, 45 minutes.
I mean, all ours are like local. So literally just the logistical stuff stresses me out of like, okay, Friday afternoon we're doing this. Saturday morning we're doing this. Then we're going to have brunch at so-and-so's house. Then we're doing this. That it's not like, oh, I hate my family. It's like just trying to fit everything in stresses me out.
Well, and you want to do certain things that you want to do, and
Right.
like trying to, and then you have the whole dance of, if we go look at Christmas lights and we go do the magic of lights thing, are we going to hurt their feelings that we went with them instead of going with them, or that we went by ourselves and didn't invite them when we could have because they are here, that kind of stuff, and that's always hard.
I was talking to Brian about
Our pastor of connections, Brian Wright.
Yes, Brian Wright. I was
Be
talking
right,
to
they
him.
call him.
I do that.
We do that, yeah. I was talking to him about a seasonal business idea. They have like travel planners.
Yes.
Do that, but with family seasons
Oh.
or like family holidays. So like someone who you pay to literally plan Christmas with extended family and all that stuff, so they can be the bad guy. So you could like slip them a 20 and be like, don't schedule this on that day. I don't want to be with these people on that day, and they get to
Do you are you the lowest man on the totem pole because you're local when it comes to planning? Like if Andrew is like, I can only come on the 22nd, it's like, that's what we're doing. It doesn't matter what Steven's doing because that's when Andrew can be here.
In terms of,
which is not a knock on Andrew, it's just a way the system works.
In terms of
the system.
In terms of the kids, yeah, I would say I'm lowest just because I'm here.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I don't know what it's like to not be available for something really, because I don't really have a social life to begin with. So
Your calendar's wide
it's
open.
wide open.
Well, that's my sister is like that with me because her husband and my parents, they both live by their parents. So and my parents and his, so he was like one of my best friends growing up, who my sister married, and
was that awkward?
no, loved it.
Oh, you were all for it.
He's seriously probably the best guy ever. Like,
Did you become friends with him when they were dating?
No, been friends with him since like 5th grade. They didn't date till.
How old's your sister?
She's a year older than me.
Oh, so y'all are close.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She's 17 months older than me. So
that is crazy.
Yeah, I know. I think about that now.
Especially
like,
having two kids, and you're like, wow, 17 months.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, so I mean, and I'm like, why do y'all never have more? And then now I'm like, oh yeah, I understand why we never have more. But her parents, my parents, and his parents live 3 minutes apart. So that's how it is. I think for my sister is like,
but that's me.
Yeah,
I'm the same.
Is like she's like, when I come to town, we're doing whatever, and I feel bad that sometimes I'm like, oh, I hope Evan's family didn't have like a tradition that they do Christmas Eve.
Doesn't matter, Evan. Get over it.
Yeah, but he's so nice. He legitimately is like, if you could draw up somebody to date your sister, like daughter, you would draw. Like he's like, they started dating, and he's like taking her car to get the oil changed,
the whole thing,
doing checking her tire pressure and all that. And I'm like,
so lame.
I'm like, dude. I'm like, meanwhile, like Michaela's like, please take my car to get the oil changed, and I'm like, that's a lie. They can go 20,000 miles.
That's a lie.
I don't actually do that. I actually took her car to get her oil. I made that example because I took her car to get her oil changed. The new minivan to get the oil changed.
Dude. I can't believe you didn't drive it. I hate you. I wanted to see it.
It's so nice.
My dad's best friend, who passed away years ago, but he had a company car one time, and he didn't think about the fact that like, oh, it's a company car, but you still have to change the oil. He drove it for 2 years, and then like from when he got it to where he traded up for a new one without an oil change. And he just turned it in and got his new car. There's no telling what it looked like in there.
There was a guy at MC when I was there. Me and this guy would always talk about our Forerunners, and because he had to like almost rebuild his, or like he like put an engine in or something. I don't remember what he did.
Wow,
but,
flex.
Yeah, he was doing like serious stuff. He like replaced everything. Was doing off road and putting like the air intake and all that. Excuse me. And this guy on the football team was like, "Hey, bro, my car is acting kind of weird. Can you come look at it?" And he's like, "What do you drive?" He's like, "Oh, it was like a Dodge Charger." And he went and looked at it, and he checked the oil level. He's like, "When's the last time you got the oil change?" And he's like, "What?" And he's like, "How long have you been driving this?" And he's like, "I don't know. I bought it new, and it had like 60,000 miles on it. Never changed the oil." he got down there and took the oil out. It had like less than like 2 quarts of oil in the
And it was probably sludge.
Oh, it was just, and he was like, and I don't know if the car ended up being fine. It was fine at that time, but I'll never forget that. He was like, I think it was like 60 something thousand, and he was like, I bought it from the dealer. It was like new, and he's like, I've never changed the oil.
Some people, I guess you just don't know.
You just don't
You're
know.
just like, whatever.
Yeah, but
Crazy.
all right. So the point of today was what? Because we're
Steven was talking about holidays and the holiday agent, so that'll just be our segue. Steven, segue us.
So we're doing now. We're doing I was here for the fall,
correct,
and we did our fall draft,
correct,
which I obviously dominated. And
negative.
the people. Sometimes you can't trust the people.
Especially when the people is just Logan voting on every 5.
Yeah, especially when Logan's making fake Spotify accounts to vote.
Like I even know how to do that or even have that many emails.
He's got bots.
You've
got a bunch of people in Malaysia on computers.
I wish I would. That'd be great. I get one vote, and sometimes I get Megan's phone, but not all the time.
You did on that one, don't lie.
I'm sure I did on that one.
Anyways,
the ones that matter, I did.
So we did the fall one. We're gonna do Christmas. Now I have some not Christmas. Winter. A winter draft. So we're going 4 best things about winter.
So maybe it's just because we've established that I don't really do anything with my life. How is this going to be any different from a fall?
Oh, it's going to be way different.
Way different.
And here is one rule I think we need to make. Christmas. Aspects of Christmas. You can't just say Christmas and you don't get all the Christmas things.
I agree.
Because like
you have to either do one or the other.
Yeah, you there's things that I have Christmas stuff on my list, but I'm gonna use those are individual things. You can't say it's like back. You couldn't say Halloween and then also get trick or treating and costumes.
Got it.
You know what I mean? Like you or for the fall one we did, you could do all that.
But
I took
Christmas
Halloween.
is too integral to winter for us to someone to just take it in one swoop.
Yes. All right. So what was our order last time? I went first.
The guest always goes first.
I don't want to go first.
Well, then we can, since you're a repeat offender, we can just guess it out, or we'll figure it out. So normally what we do is we do rock paper scissors to determine who wins. Would you like the bye?
Yeah, I'll take the bye.
You take the bye, and then whoever is the number one winner gets to choose their order. How about that?
That works. Can you hand me that? I'll keep track of it. Hand me that little notepad, and I'll write our picks down. Because last time we kept forgetting.
I agree.
You can tear that off if those are personal notes.
It was from a previous episode. My notes about the football conversation.
So, you know how Jared went off about FSU?
Yeah. Oh, and I could rebuttal it, but I'm not. I'm going to be the bigger person as an Alabama fan.
We'll wait till it's off camera then. But it was funny because Steven just... I barely knew what we were talking about. Steven had no clue at all what a football even was, much less the team. It was hilarious. All right, so you and me are going to do... Me and Steven are about to do rock, paper, scissors. You have to say what you're picking as you do it. Yep. And then whoever wins will go up against Tyler. And then whoever wins... overall will decide the order of the draft.
Okay, I like that.
Okay.
Because you might want middle or you might want...
Correct. Yeah. Rock, paper, scissors, scissors. Oh, dang.
I threw rock. Sorry, I forgot to do okay, ready?
Rock, paper, scissors, paper. Here we go. Rock, paper, scissors, rock. Here we go. Rock, paper, scissors, paper. Rock, paper, scissors, rock. Rock, paper, scissors, rock. Rock, paper, scissors, scissors. Dang it! I knew he was going to do that.
All right, so me v. Steven?
Yes.
All right, let's go 1 of 1, not 2 of 3.
Okay.
Sudden death. Here we go.
Rock, paper, scissors, rock. Rock, paper, scissors, rock. Rock, paper, scissors, rock. Ooh. Steven, pick it.
Okay. Is it the same as before where it's...
we haven't decided if we're doing snake or normal.
Snake.
Snake?
I think snake's the funnest part of it.
That's fine. So we're doing a snake draft. You pick the order.
The snake draft's what we did last time, where the last person goes.
Just the alternating.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 3,
and
2,
you get
1.
doubles.
Okay.
Except for 2. 2 doesn't get doubles.
Let's go Logan, Tyler, me.
Oh, okay. I get to go first.
All right, Logan.
I want you to know that I haven't thought through my list at all. I was kind of hoping I didn't go first.
I haven't. Last time I came with notes, I'm kind of winging this one. But I have ideas.
My number one pick for my winter draft. I'm so excited about this.
Mm-hmm.
This is not going to do anything for you two at all, but for the people, especially half the population, it's going to seal the deal. I was going to say freaking. Can I say free? I can say freaking. It's going to seal the freaking deal. My number one pick, Hallmark movies.
You're pandering.
I
You
am
don't actually like Hallmark movies.
See, I was gonna say Christmas movies.
Mine's better.
Yeah, you can still say Christmas movies.
Can you though?
Yes, because Hallmark is a specific type of movie. Hallmark movies is the guy moves to the town. He doesn't want to
That's
be there.
true.
He's there
Not all.
because his parents are on their deathbed, and he has to take care of the family, and he has to run the family diner. And then when he's in the family diner, one of the waitresses, she's kind of struggling financially, and he helps her out. And then they fall in love, and then she has 2 kids.
Because there is Christmas.
Their dad is,
Because there is Christmas movies like Elf, Polar Express. The good
Die Hard.
movies.
Die
I dropped
Hard.
the ball. I should have said Christmas movies. I still will stick with Hallmark.
Okay.
Number one pick.
Ooh, that's bad that you didn't get Christmas movies.
I know.
But I would have said Hallmark was a separate thing, even if you would have said Christmas movies.
I agree with you. I
Okay.
do. I think I dropped the ball on that, but I'm still sticking with Hallmark because that does get me points.
It does.
It's just not the max points.
All right. I have 2 things that I was thinking
Did you
about
write
doing.
mine down?
Yes, I did. Okay. Oh, I'm going personal. You're going to pander for the win. I'm going to go personal.
That was my only pander. From now on, it'll be for real.
All right.
And I do like Hallmark
This
movies.
separates from fall in a specific way. This is my favorite thing, and it never happens. And I don't know how I'm going to word it. The possibility of snow.
Yeah, 100%. Not snow. The possibility of snow.
And then if it happens, it's golden. But whenever, it always happens. 4 weeks before Christmas, somebody shares the graphic on Facebook. We're supposed to get 8 inches of snow on Christmas, and you're like, and I'm like, we got to buy all the stuff. And then it's like, now it's going to be 80 degrees on Christmas. And you're like, oh.
Do you think if we all lived in Minnesota, where there's a guarantee of it snowing, but it's just a matter of when, you don't even know what that feels like, because there's never a possibility of snow. It's a certainty of snow. So I think that's a regional thing that we get that other people don't.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was agreeing.
It's so fun hoping for snow. And then those wonderful days when you were not even expecting that there was a chance, and you wake up and you open your window and you're like, it snowed.
Yeah.
Like, you remember the one in like 2018, and I was at MC still, and we had finals that day. And there was no plan. Nobody had any idea it was going to snow. And we woke up and there was like 5 inches of snow.
Yes.
And I had a Greek final that day, and I was like, and I needed to make like an 80 to make a C in the class.
Big G.
My boy. And bought his book the other day, actually.
Look at you.
And actually somebody bought it for me. But he didn't move the final, and I was like, I need to study because I need to make this grade to make a C. And the final was at noon, and I just said, listen, I can't pass up this snow. And I went and played in snow the whole day, and I made like an 82, so it was okay. But yeah, possibility of snow, that's my pick.
I have a picture of Captain, my dog, playing in the snow and going into the water, retrieving ducks like dummies in the snow. Like, that's why I remember that day, because I have a picture of it.
Does he do ducks actually?
Yeah, we retrieve. Like, I'll
You go duck hunting?
Yeah.
And he goes?
Mm-hmm.
Was
Did
that
not get a little chilly in the water?
He's got a neoprene vest on.
Okay.
He has been in water where he's had ice on his fur, though, and he does not care. He actually cared a little bit when that happened.
Does he sleep like in the bed with you?
No, he's in a kennel, like a real working dog.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he's like he's a hunting dog first and a pet second.
At this point, he's 9. He's your serious duck hunters have retired their dog by 9.
Okay.
So Captain, he can still retrieve a duck, but we're kind of having a good time. So at this point, he's probably more pet than anything else.
And the kids.
And the kids.
That's like Michaela's dog, service dog.
Stout.
Yeah, he.
My boy.
I thought he was done being service dog because the big thing with him is like getting treats. You can't get treats and all that, and Maggie just feeds him everything.
Like, he can't get treats because it messes his nose up?
No, basically he eats once a day. He eats in the morning, and then he does not get. The only way he gets treats is if he alerts for blood sugar. So if you're giving him treats all the time, then he's not motivated to do it. And Maggie feeds him all the time, and so he hadn't alerted in a while. I know he still knows how to do it. And then 2 weeks ago, he woke me up in the middle of the night and he was whining and pawing at me, and I was like, "What, do you need to go outside?" And I like opened the door, and he's looking at me like, "You moron!" And he like kept doing it, and I was like, "Oh."
And her sugar was low.
And her sugar was like 40, and I was like, "All right,
40.
thanks."
40's bad.
Yeah, 40's really low, and I was like, "Thanks, dude," and went and woke her up, and then, and so yeah, so he can still do it, but
Was she okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
she's good.
I didn't know how serious
40's
that
not
was.
like crazy low. If we would have left it alone, it could have got bad. But normal's like 100, but it can get like 300-400, and that's bad too.
If it gets super high.
Yeah, you don't want
Yeah.
it to get really. It can 100 to 150 ish is fine. And then
Does
anything
it
above that.
get? We should just have her on and talk about it. For her specifically, it'll get super high and super low, or it just goes one or the other.
It can get both. For a type 2, which is like
You're not born with it.
you're not born with it. It's your pancreas does some stuff. It's mostly diet and stuff that,
Yeah.
that can do it. Then they're mostly going to just be high. Hers, if she doesn't eat enough, or like she has to like calculate how much insulin to put in, if somehow there's a miscalculation, or sometimes she thinks that that something might have more sugar in it than it does, that kind of thing, then she put too much insulin and it'll bottom her out. Or she gets some insulin all the time, and so she doesn't
Right.
eat for long enough, then it can or exercise can lower it, that kind of thing.
I was listening to a podcast with a guy whose son is type 1, and I don't know if everyone's like this or if he's just really dialed in, but they're trying to have their kid like super dialed on all of it. And he was talking about how like it's like you do all this math and algebra to try to figure out exactly what you need, but then different parts of the year it changes depending on if it's hot or cold or your activity. It's just such a moving target.
It's very hard. It's I feel for her, because she says all the time that it's like one of the most frustrating things ever, that there's never I'll just eat.
Yeah,
It's like
because you got to think about it.
you got to think. So yeah. All right, Steven.
That was a fun little aside.
Yeah.
Was
Shout out, Michaela. What's up?
so I get 2.
2.
Yes.
Okay, Christmas movies
Okay.
and Christmas morning.
He's gonna.
I
go
feel
all
like you're
over
just
this.
going to own Christmas with yours.
I mean,
No, I'm gonna take one good thing.
if there's not a lot. That
So you're about to go next, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. I wasn't trying to cut you off.
Yeah,
Continue.
There's a lot more, I feel, that nuance that goes into fall here than there is that goes into winter. Like there's more that makes fall stand out than winter.
Interesting.
You think so?
Yeah, because fall, when it comes to here, most of Christmas season falls on fall. Thanksgiving, Halloween is in fall. Leaves changing, just stuff like that. There's more personality to fall here because we don't get a lot of the other wintry things. It's just fall part 2 pretty much, but without all the holidays.
I don't agree with that. I think it's its own thing. I think it looks different as a Midwest or Northern state region, but I do think it's got its own little charm.
It's fall here. You're not getting these mornings where it's 20 or 30.
I'm not saying it has no personality. I'm just saying fall here stands out more than winter.
Oh,
does.
fall definitely stands out more.
Yeah.
And that's kind of culturally too, with football and different
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
But
Have you been wearing your beanie when it's in the 40s?
yeah, I might have been bad about it, but I wear it to the gym almost every morning.
Yeah.
Because my little ears get so cold, so very cold.
I've been walking, rucking, and running in the mornings, not at the same time.
I don't know this side of you.
I
That it's
exercise,
just this wild man.
I exercise every day. But what I found is I don't like running in pants just
Mhm.
because, one, joggers don't fit me well.
Mhm.
My legs are too big. But I like the freedom of movement. But I've found that if I wear gloves and a beanie, I'm good in almost any temperature. It's weird.
Just
That's crazy. You've always just been into exercise?
I took some time off right when I got here to Ridgecrest, so 2018, 19, but then right around COVID, I dialed it up. But I went from football to, I did CrossFit every day through senior year of high school through college. And then
Did you ever get like big and then you were like, I need to slim down? Is that what it was? Or were you just
I've always been overweight.
I wouldn't say you're like, and not just to gas you up, but I'm like, I don't feel like you're overweight.
I carry my weight well, so I don't carry all my weight in my abdomen like a lot of people do. It's a lot in my quads and thighs and just everywhere. And just because I'm so large, I can carry it well. But I've always the lowest body fat.
I'm so sorry.
Her ears are burning.
I know.
I think that besides like when I was a child, the lowest body fat I've ever been is like low 20s.
Mm-hmm.
And so like right now, I'm just according to my scale at home, which could be wild. It's consistently inconsistent. It may not be exactly what it is, but it's usually what it is. I'm sitting around 30% body fat. And so for me, that is overweight. I would like to be lower. But when I was in college doing CrossFit, right when I was doing that is when I got super into paleo. That was when paleo exploded. And so I did that I was probably more keto than anything because I ate bacon and grilled chicken just about every day. Mm-hmm. I got down to about 250, but I also lost all my muscle mass because when I did keto, I didn't work out.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, I've been doing it forever. I like doing all that stuff.
Well, that's so fun. You do it by yourself?
Pretty much.
Not to be that guy.
Please hijack.
But my son's about to be dropped off here.
We'll talk more. We'll have an exercise health episode. I love talking about it.
Yeah.
That's good.
But real quick, Christmas movies, self-explanatory. Christmas morning, I've grown up in a family where there's always been kids, pretty much, because my family adopts kids, and so like
you have 7 siblings.
I am the youngest of 3 biological boys.
Just tell me the total.
I need to talk it out before I get
sorry.
So 3 biological boys, 4 girls, 4 adopted girls, 2 adopted boys.
I'm 2.
So 9.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Wowza.
Yeah.
I said you had 7 siblings? 6.
I don't remember what number you said.
I was still
You
low.
said 7.
So I was off by 1.
But yeah, there's just something that's always fun about Christmas morning at the Collier household.
Seeing Christmas through a child's eyes.
Yes. It's great.
Was that your second pick?
No. That's what I'm saying. That's what his is. Essentially 2 for him is, in addition
That's
to Christmas morning, part of his Christmas morning magic is that there's always children. Yeah. My second, I don't know.
I got mine locked in.
I really enjoy Christmas lights.
That's a good one.
Christmas lights. I love walking around my neighborhood, seeing Christmas blow-ups and lights and, the little mangers and little nativities, and I love all that. Christmas lights. It's so fun. So Maggie loves it. You just hop in the car, ride around. She just loves all that. So I'm going Christmas lights is my number 2.
Okay.
All right, so now Logan, you get 2.
Oh, I get 2? Perfect. I had 2 that I was trying to decide against. My number 2 pick, Santa.
Oh, yeah.
The gift delivery part of Santa is wonderful. That even is self-explanatory. The cultural aspect of Santa, the decorations, the stories, the movies. I'm not claiming all those, but just Santa as a whole.
I thought you were going to say the gift delivery thing is great, but the ability to threaten your children with Santa's watching.
We don't really do that.
I know. I thought that was. I don't know why I thought that was where you were going with that.
That is funny though.
You know how people do that?
Oh yeah.
You'd be out at Walmart and like a kid's like shoplifting.
That was me. I was the one that was like, crap. I'm gonna get put on. I'm gonna get transferred to the other list. Like I can't be doing this. That was me to a T.
Yeah.
My third pick is along the side of what we were just talking about. Cold mornings. Not like you're saying in fall, like a brisk morning that gets hot. I like waking up and it's 35 degrees.
Oh, I like colder than that. I'm right with you. Going out there, you walk on the grass. Maybe I just like crunching on stuff. But when you crunch on the grass, oh my gosh.
I like a cold morning. And I think it's because like it'll hardly ever, if ever, get like blistering cold. Like maybe once a year we get down to the teens. But the rest of the time it's like you put on a jacket, a hat, and a beanie, or a jacket, a hat, and gloves. And you're fine.
And you're always exercising in the mornings. You run in the mornings or walk or something every morning.
Every morning. Except for Sunday morning. I don't do that.
Nobody goes with you? Ever?
Mm-mm.
That's fun. I like that. Do you listen to stuff?
You're very much invited. We can go run and do all kinds of stuff together.
I want to bulk. I don't want to be running.
That's true.
But I do want to do it. Because I was really into running for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I hurt myself training for a half marathon.
Is that why you stopped training for it?
And it got canceled in COVID. So I was actually training for a full marathon. I ran a half in training and was having such bad IT band stuff that I couldn't walk upstairs for like 2 days. Like it was the most, and it's still, I think I messed something up because it still hurts me sometimes in my left knee. And yeah, it was just miserable. And so I ran a half, quote unquote. It was just in training. But yeah, I like it. You know, Russ is really into running right now.
I was terrified of being a big guy running because everyone just says your knees are going to explode and you can't do it. One, I run less than 10 miles a week, so I'm not putting in crazy distance. But then I just don't really care, and I enjoy doing it. My joints are fine. I make sure to stretch, mobilize, and do strength. And
a lot of people who sit on the couch all day will tell you why working out's bad for you.
Yes.
And I'm like, you know what? If I get, you'll be like, yeah, I'm trying, I just hit 225 on bench. And they're like, well, benching's so bad for your shoulders. And I'm like, you know what? How about this?
Right.
When my shoulders start hurting real bad, I'll stop. But they don't right now. So, yeah, that's good.
Those are my two picks.
So you got Hallmark movies, Santa, and Cold Mornings.
Cold. No, not cool. Cold.
Cold Mornings.
That's 3 of my 5.
Yeah. 4.
Wow. What?
You only get 4?
No, we're doing 5. We've always done 5.
We did 4 on mine because we did Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. I had to think like, wait, where's the 5th one?
Fine, we can do 4.
Yeah. Cool.
I gotta think of my 4th one.
All right, I'm gonna go. I almost was like, we should do each draft a bad thing, and a bad thing about winter that I secretly kind of like. I'm not drafting this.
Well, that's my Hallmark movie one, so mine's already done.
Yeah, but we're not doing that. But a thing that goes along with Cold Mornings is frost on your windshield.
Oh, there
and
you
you
go.
like sit in the car and you're running late and you're like looking at it, you're like, come on, and you're like doing the thing where you turn the wipers on and they're like shredding your wipers.
Yes. You don't have the scraper? Of course you don't.
I don't.
Yeah.
But now, I've been just going out and starting it.
Yeah, you just
when
give
I
it
get up
10 minutes.
and then I just like and motivate myself to get ready for the gym or whatever, and then by the time I get ready, then it's kind of good. Let's see, I got possibility of snow, Christmas lights. There's one I could do that is fun, but I don't really enjoy it.
Eggnog.
Oh, I love eggnog.
It's so good.
It's so good. It's just melted ice cream. That's what I was telling
People
somebody
hate
the other day.
on it.
Oh, it's so good.
Someone called it flavored mucus, which is it's a great descriptor, but it's still
like
good.
That. I'm gonna go a beverage though. Hot chocolate.
I was thinking hot chocolate.
I love hot chocolate. I love the little marshmallows. I love it. Hot chocolate. So good.
That was good. That was a good pick.
I love burning my mouth on it.
Now that I don't like.
That first sip.
Oh, it's those little cups. The cups when they put the little lid on there. It's like church coffee. Church coffee. Every Sunday, I'm like, surely it's cold by now. And then you take it, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I do hate burning my mouth. I did a lot as a kid, so now I'll wait until it's almost cold.
All right, Steven, now you get 2.
But this is your 3rd and your 4th?
This is my 3rd and
Yes.
4th.
So you're done after this?
Yeah. You guys may need to fight me on this, but I'm about to potentially $1 you. Price is Right.
I understand, but I just don't know where you're going with it.
Hot drinks.
Oh, that's a $1. Just explain yourself.
See, because here's what you're gonna do. Like, there is a drink that's good. It's apple cider.
I'm thinking apple cider, like others, like festive teas, hot chocolate, all of that stuff.
Festive tea.
I think you got to go apple cider.
Yeah, you have to pick one because he picked one.
Okay, that's why I was wondering.
Are you going to do apple cider?
Because I thought about doing that because I wanted hot chocolate and apple cider,
Yeah,
but I didn't.
Okay, then I'll do apple cider.
I think I've had apple cider one time in my life.
It's so good.
My family just never did it.
Yeah,
never does it.
Derek, my boss, the week of Christmas in the office. I don't know why he does this, but I love it. every day he gets in there early, and we don't even really work. Like, it's just like, hey, if you have stuff to do, come do it. But we don't have Wednesday nights, and we don't have Sunday school. But he'll make a thing of cider every single day and just leaves it in the office. And it's the most. I just go up there, especially when I lived right by the church. I go up there. I don't even have anything to do. I just go up there to drink a cup of cider and then go home.
You're getting some Derek cider.
Oh, it's so good. He makes the best. It's like, red hot cinnamon, all that kind of stuff. It's so good. So yeah, I'd walk up there, get a cup, see, nobody's even in there, and then I just walk home.
Nice.
All right, so you got your fourth now.
Christmas gifts.
Okay.
Giving.
You're really Christmas heavy.
Yeah.
My birthday even falls in the winter, and I just don't care. I was gonna do more general, like
No, I'm okay with it.
I was gonna do hoodies or like you said, but I'm trying to keep it a little more fresh.
Well, I thought about going fashion too, and I still might. I haven't decided for my fourth. So it's my turn. It's my fourth pick now. So you like giving gifts, or do you like receiving?
Both.
Oh yeah.
I think saying
People who say they don't like. People who lie and say, "Oh, I don't like getting gifts." I really love to give gifts.
Yeah.
I do. It's a problem. Michaela gets mad at me every year. I buy her way too much stuff every year, and then I get to about this point, and I've already spent a bunch of money. Then I'm like, well, she needs.
Yeah.
And I'm bad about that. But if you say you don't like receiving gifts too, like, kick rocks.
Yeah, skip stones. What we did, because I'm like that with Megan, and just to keep us from buying way too many gifts, we actually have a system where we do something that you want, something you need, something you wear, and something you read, and we keep it to 4.
That's cool.
And
Where did you get that?
Megan, I'm sure she found it like on Pinterest or Facebook or something. But
Want, need,
wear,
read.
read.
That's good.
So you could get rid of the read part and just do something else.
Yeah, that's the thing. So is this gonna come out after Christmas?
It'll come out on Monday. Wait, that is Christmas.
That's Christmas Day.
Yeah, we're good. So I got her.
It'll come out after Christmas. You're not posting this on Christmas.
Like she's been working out a lot, so I got her a Lulu little shirt, and then so that'd be wear. But I think I could also argue that's need.
Right. That's the trick, is you can differentiate how you see fit.
Yeah. And so that I think mine would probably not the read one, but I think I could probably I got her 3 things, and I think I could fit them in those. So your final thing, we'll wait and do finals after. I'm going to go with, let's see. I'm struggling with this fourth one.
I just got mine. That doesn't help you, but I just got it.
I'll go something. This is just me.
That's fine.
And I know that not a lot of people like this as much, and y'all certainly don't care.
What are you going to say?
Bowl games. College football bowl games. People hate on bowl games.
Who hates on bowl games?
Everyone nowadays. They want to get rid of them. They want to do like a huge playoff and get rid of bowl games. Like, nobody even cares about there was my favorite bowl game ever was the Cherubundi Tart Cherry Bowl. I promise you that was never. You can Google it. The Cherubundi Tart Cherry Bowl.
Love it.
It was in Boca Raton, and it's like, who's watching that? And
I thought there used to be another bowl in Boca Raton.
They changed when they changed sponsors. They changed
it's just a sponsor name. Yeah, but people sure do care that Mississippi State's not in the bowl this year.
Oh, I know. Well, see, I guess it might be because I'm such a winner as an Alabama fan that when we go to a bowl game and not the playoff, we're like, what the heck?
Yeah.
We always we make fun of Auburn because they play in the Birmingham Bowl every year. We're like, they'll be like, even when they beat us, I'm like, oh boy, you might go to the Music City Bowl instead of the Birmingham Bowl this year. But it's like, I love the bowl games. You see weird matchups. Teams that normally don't play each other will play each other. I try to go to one every year. I'm not going to one this year, but I try to go to one every year. You get, and they're a little bit worse now because people sit out of them and stuff. But bowl games to me, and then you do the bowl pick 'em with your friends.
Yeah.
It's very fun. I really enjoy just seeing then you have a team like this year, Florida State and Georgia. There's a lot of, Florida State's trying to prove that they should have been in, and
I heard that all of Florida State's just not playing.
a lot of them aren't. But Mike Norvell was trying to. Their coach wanted, they're trying to push it. Well, they're all injured anyway, so they were not in the playoff.
Jared.
But yeah, so there's all these things that people are trying to take away with it, but I just still love it. I love that like Liberty is playing somebody big. I forget who they're playing. Oregon, and it's like for if Liberty beats Oregon, that's a huge win. Remember Boise State beat Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl when I was a young lad. I'm like, that was just such a they ran the Statue of Liberty play to win it, and it was just like
classic.
Oh, you were like that. It was so cool.
That was when Boise State did crazy trick plays all the time.
When they had Kellen Moore,
who
is now the offensive coordinator of the
no idea Liberty.
Chargers. Oh, he was the offensive coordinator for the Cowboys, and then he is now at the Chargers. I believe the Chargers. I hope if that's wrong, it's gonna be embarrassing.
For you and no one else.
Yeah. All right, Logan.
My last one is one personal to me. Steven, put the camera over to you. I thought about this when I saw the screensaver.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Blankets.
Oh, that's a great pick.
And it's got to be stupid cold for me just because I run hot.
Yeah.
And so.
I love when people say that. I never say that because I don't, but.
Well, that's why I love getting under a blanket when it's cold and you just settle in. Yep. Watching a Hallmark movie
on a cold morning
because
thinking about what Santa's going to bring you
at 8:15 a.m. I'm just under a blanket watching Hallmark. We're the kind of family to where when Thanksgiving hits, the TV, if the TV is on, Hallmark is on.
No way.
That's how Megan rolls.
And you just learned to love it, hate it. Love it.
I wouldn't say I love it. I've learned to tolerate it. I like the super cheesy endings of Hallmark movies. Mm-hmm. Like the rest of it, just we'll say, questionable acting and the plot lines that are less than ideal. But just that I love a good segue. And the endings of every Hallmark movie is just a great segue. When like one has got a new job somewhere else and they show up and they're like, I'll be with you wherever you go. And then they do that one kiss of the whole movie. And
he gives up the big promotion
yes.
because she's starting her bakery that she really has always dreamed to do.
In the small town of whatever state.
That he really didn't want to be in. He just had to be there because of a family situation.
Yes. And then it all just goes to, I love you, little peck, the end. And I'm like, oh, love it.
Mm-hmm. There's a new, I guess, tradition that we do where we watch this. It started with this movie, and it kind of made it to where we've been recommended other Christmas and otherwise themed movies with dogs.
I was going to say Polar Express.
You watch what's the Air Bud ones? The
Santa Buddies.
No. Santa Buddies.
No.
Air Bud and Air Bud 2 were great movies.
There's this one called Alone at Christmas. It's on Peacock, the streaming service.
It sounds like it's trying to make me cry.
It's not. It's Home Alone but with a dog.
He sets traps to fight against burglars?
To fight against burglars.
Are the burglars dogs or cats?
No, they're just regular guys.
It's a huge miss that they're not cats.
Yeah, they should be cat burglars
no cats
at
in
the
film.
very least.
Huge miss.
There's no cats in the film. But the dog...
What? None?
None. Also, the dogs talk, but only to each other, and they do the awful CGI mouth movement thing. And so, like, there's this one scene where they're trying to, like, climb into the... It's awful. This movie's awful, but it's so funny. But one of the burglars is trying to climb into a window with a ladder, and the dog...
Cats wouldn't need a ladder, by the way.
The dog's name is Bone. Bone takes some dish soap. Like, it's just the shot of Bone walking up to the window with dish soap in his mouth, and then it's just the bottle falling down because he's, like, making the ladder slippery, and so they can't climb with the ladder because it's been made slippery from soap, and then he just walks away, and there's a skateboard at the door. He hops on the skateboard and just skates away, and they don't explain the skateboard. Like, it's just unhinged nonsense.
I love it.
With a dog. But movies like that, like there was one that we watched that was a telepathic dog got away from the CIA and went to a small town in like Wisconsin or some nonsense like that. Just awful movies. But that's our new Hallmark movie. It's just
Dog
Awful
movies.
dog movies.
awful dog movies.
Y'all seen that one where the dog's like he like fights the guy and it's like very obviously it's called like he's like a detective and somehow he's a dog. And there's like a scene that was real popular. People would make fun of it. And he like jumps up and punches the guy in the face, but it's very obviously just for that one scene, a guy in a dog costume. Like he's just like a person wearing a dog costume for a
Never
second.
seen this ever.
No.
I'm about to show you.
Just find it and save it, and then we'll just put it in there. Right here.
Sir, the truck is waiting outside. Out of my way!
A guy wearing a mop as a wig gives him a right cross.
Just watch
This
it.
is the original Shaggy dog.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so great.
That's
That's
awesome.
probably
I didn't know
awful.
Shaggy Dog was a remake.
Yeah.
That's awful. That's awful listening.
Yeah.
That we just did was let me show you something
I'm
and
sure
no one else could see it.
he'll cut it down. He'll be fine.
But yeah, it was good. Anyways, all right. So do we need to recap or do we want to do honorable mentions?
Oh wait, I was the last one
Yeah.
when I did blankets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't know if you have a hard out in like 30 seconds.
We have to be out.
You said you have to be out.
No. I'm not. I don't have any big plans.
Okay, well that's good. So we'll land the plane, but there's no rush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I have to do? This is not a big thing. I'm taking Maggie to the park because she was like last night. She kept putting her backpack on and going, all right, I'm going to the park. Bye. And I was like, why do you keep saying that? Do you have this like desire to go to we don't do that a lot. And I was like, do you have this desire to go to the park? And so then I was like, hey, you want to go to the park tomorrow? And she was like, and I was like, oh, no.
Well, you're not going to be able to blame me and say we can't go because Uncle Logan didn't let you go.
Yeah,
So
no.
we're going to make sure that happens.
Anyways,
Honorable mentions.
I've got one that I was going to say.
You say it because I haven't thought of one.
The rut.
Bringing in hunting. Look
Oh,
at you go.
Dude, because I got all these deer in my yard over here. Because I planted ryegrass in my yard.
yeah,
Oh,
they're
my
tearing
yard
it
looks
up.
phenomenal.
We're right at the rut.
One of my
season.
friends that lives in downtown Jackson had a monster buck. I'll show you that video in a minute. When we're off air, chasing a doe in his backyard, like head down, sniffing. It walks through the bushes. 5 seconds later, the buck walks through. They're literally chasing around his backyard. They live in downtown Jackson, like near the Country Club of Jackson. And it's
There
like,
you go.
so yeah, the rut's one. I was gonna say fashion. I really like wearing sweatshirts all day and not the fall. The problem with the fall is here. It's sweatshirt in the morning, jacket in the morning. By noon,
You're
you want
dying.
to take it off. I
Yeah.
like that. I put this on today. I'm wearing
You wear it all day.
Yes, and it's good to go.
Yep. I don't really have an honorable mention. I can't really think of anything. I think I pretty much nailed my list.
You got any more honorable mentions?
Christmas ham is what Steven likes.
I don't love
Blech.
ham. It's
Blech.
fine.
You don't like ham
Hate
at
it.
all?
No, it's become this thing where it's like a stereotype. It's like a thing that I have. It's not a stereotype. It's a
character quality.
it's like a calling card where I just tell people that I can't stand ham. I don't like it, but I don't just like hate it. The one food that I hate, like I can't stand it. Like if I smell it, I get grossed out. Is cucumbers.
Yeah.
Can't stand like even the smell. If you put it in like a green juice or like a smoothie, I'll smell it and taste it. I can't
You
stand
do
it.
sushi?
Yes.
You know how they mess around and put cucumbers in some weird sushi?
Yes.
Like, what the heck is that? It makes me so mad when they do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, who wants that?
Nobody. Not
It'll be
a-
like shrimp
not a soul.
tempura roll and there's cucumbers in it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro,
They just try to get you that extra crunch. It's like I don't need that.
yeah, I don't need that. You know what's crunchy? The shrimp tempura.
Idiots.
I don't like to eat the sushi that isn't cooked at all, so I always get the like shrimp tempura roll. It's
You
kinda
don't
the
you don't like cooked sushi?
No, I like cooked sushi.
He doesn't like uncooked sushi.
Oh.
I get the one that are cooked, and then
Yeah.
that's one of the ones I always throw. Let's
I
see. I
agree.
had some other honorable mentions. What else is there?
Christmas cookies.
I was going to say
cookies.
cookies.
I don't like sugar cookies. So Christmas
I don't
cookies don't
either.
really do it for me.
I don't like sugar cookies, but I would
Shout
say,
out Whimsy Cookie. I don't like sugar cookies at all.
I would say that sugar cookies are not like when someone would say Christmas cookies, I wouldn't think sugar cookies. I think that sugar cookies can be a
Christmas cookies aren't sugar cookies?
I'm saying.
I mean,
that
excluding gingerbread, of
Christmas
course.
cookies are not defined exclusively by.
What do you
sugar
make for
cookies.
Santa?
Well, we haven't done Santa yet, but we would probably.
Yeah, this is your first, isn't
This
it?
is my first, yeah.
That's right. This is not your
What are
first.
y'all
It
gonna
is
make?
Peter's first.
You want to know a good little gift you can get
What?
for your missus?
What?
or really it's kind of just for Santa. But you go, Michaela did this for me, and made a little cookies for Santa plate at like Fat Cat Art Cafe, and put his little hand on it or his feet, and make it into a little reindeer, and be like, this is the plate we use for cookies for Santa.
That's cute.
That's fun.
That's cute.
Yeah. So then we made one for Jules too. So you don't know what you're gonna make. I made some gingerbread from scratch the other day.
Oh, really? You know it'll be
just okay.
You know it'll be fun next year for Peter. It's too early now.
Yeah.
Reindeer food.
Yeah.
Cash loves it. We throw it on the roof and in the yard.
Mm-hmm.
He loves it.
And so do the reindeer.
Absolutely.
It's always gone.
But I'm saying that when I think Christmas cookies, I don't think sugar cookies, or at least not exclusively. I think of like gingerbread, snickerdoodles, like frosted cookies, stuff like that. I think all of those would be considered Christmas cookies.
That's fun. I still think they're sugar cookies. He's so fed up.
I really like.
Whatever.
I really like. I don't know what y'all's work schedule's like, but once we hit, like, our office is closed from today until like New Year's, past New Year's.
Ours isn't that, but it's way low key.
But we and now I say close. I went and worked today with Jake,
Right.
but we did. I thought about throwing this in there for students, especially Christmas break. Remember Christmas break? Do you remember Christmas
We're in
break?
student ministry. Of course, we remember.
I know, but I'm saying when you were a kid, do you remember Christmas break?
Oh yeah,
It was glorious. It's like sometimes better than summer because you're like,
well, because summer is so busy.
Yeah.
You're especially like athletes or band, like you're just so busy.
Yep.
And in Christmas break, unless you're going like skiing or to a grandparent's house, it's just chill.
Now, here's something I want to ask you about student ministry. We did winter retreats.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big thing, and
we did not.
We used to here.
Not at Broadmoor when I was in student ministry. We did not.
Yeah, we did here.
We used to do it, and then now as a student pastor, I'm like, how did y'all do that? Like the thought of like planning a retreat right now, and trying to get people to convince people to go. And maybe that's it. Like these kids, I mean, you know how it is. It's like it's harder to get people to come to stuff these days. But we have D Now coming up. We have all this, and I'm like, how did we do that? Like even financially, like I'd feel bad being like, hey, you paid money for a retreat, like as you're doing Christmas.
Well, when did y'all do your D Now? Was your D Now later?
It was like in April.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit.
You have to space it out.
Yeah. But so yeah, I've thought about. I almost was thinking like, man, I think one of the churches in Madison does like a ski trip. You know, they'll go like or whatever. I'm like, that'd be really fun. But also, I look at it like you only have a certain amount of bandwidth to go on trips, money wise, promotion wise.
Yeah.
You can't always be promoting an event in between D Now and camp. That's really, I mean, trip wise, I don't know. I've done a middle school retreat before, and I liked it. I did it at Twin Lakes, and then we did camp at Tanglewood during COVID. But I would like to do those again, but it just seems like we just got so much going on. It's like I don't know if we need another thing.
There is a lot, and every church is different. Some churches can do big things every month, and there are other churches where it's like our people can't do that, and so you just have to find that line of where you're at and what your people will come to and pay for.
We went to a church conference in Dallas, and it's a big church there that puts it on, and they were saying their student ministry, and I was like, bro, I'm not gonna be the one to propose this, but they're like. And I wouldn't want to, but they're like, we do basically one Wednesday night a month.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where these big churches are moving. And they're like, we don't do our own camp. They're like, because all these kids go to that church in Texas. So they're like, they go to Pine Cove and they go to this.
Yeah.
They're like, so we don't do our own camp. They don't call it D Now, but they do D Now.
Right.
And that's the only thing they do. And they do small groups in neighborhoods during the week.
Yeah.
And like, they don't do any weekly service for high school. They do once a month, and they do a big D Now.
That's where people are moving. People are moving to less and less events.
Which to me, I mean, maybe that's where it needs to go. But to me, what kept me grounded in my faith was the consistency.
And they do, just from what you said, they have the consistency of their small groups.
But I wonder from my standpoint, if you did that, do you think how successful do you think you would be in getting everyone to a small group every week, not
Right.
on campus? I think I would really struggle with. I think logistically, now that's another thing about being a big group, though. You know, they have so many kids. You know, they have a 400-person student ministry that they can have one in just about every neighborhood to where it's not super hard logistically. Here, you know, we've done weeknight Bible studies before, but put it in Lake Caroline, well, that alienates,
Everybody.
you know, everybody that doesn't live in Reunion or Lake Caroline. And then you put it in Ridgeland, well, now all those people. So it's like, but we didn't have enough kids to do one
Right. Everywhere.
to do one everywhere, and they I guess do. I don't know,
Yeah.
but
We had kids that like live in Tidewater with you, where we had a church member that lived on the backside of Lake Caroline, and they were like, Logan, it's a 40-minute drive to get from Tidewater to the back of Lake Caroline. And I was like, it sure is.
Yep.
That's tough, and vice versa.
Yep, and it's definitely hard. But I wonder with all that stuff. But
I think in our context, and you know, that church you're going to, they're a weird mix of like urban and suburb, so it may not.
you know what church we go to? Yeah.
But I was saying I think we're too suburban.
Yeah.
Our families are trying to engage with things, and I think if you are a church that does not have anything, your people just won't engage.
Well, and one thing that I do respect about them is they say straight up, do not do what we're doing. They're like, we're here to help and, you know, encourage you, equip you in certain aspects. And they're like, we want you to look at what we're doing and say, hey, that works for me.
Mm-hmm.
That works for me. Not, I'm going to take their thing and copy and paste it. They're like, because they're like, in 2 years, we might be doing camp again, or we might be doing a weekly service again. They're like, just right now, this is where, but I know some bigger churches here that aren't doing necessarily weekly services.
They're doing less and less.
And I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what. Maybe that's where everybody moves, but I hope not, because I like the.
I don't think so. I think people are meant to have weekly gatherings. Now that will obviously look different, but I think the way that our bodies work is on daily rhythms, weekly rhythms, and then seasonal rhythms. There needs to be some sort of weekly check-in. Whatever, there's lots of ways that looks like, but I think once a month meetings, even if you have the small groups, I think are just a little too that's too far. But that could change. I could be very wrong with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I really, like I said, I just really enjoyed the consistency. And now my youth group was 10 people at times.
Right.
You know, and so the whole from 6 to 12 was, you know, 10 of us, 5 of us at, you know, on bad weeks. So maybe that's not the answer, but like I said, I enjoy it, and I enjoy our weekly stuff. Like this time, when do y'all take off on Wednesday nights?
We're done.
When did y'all did last week?
Yes, we did last week. And
last week was the 13th?
Yes. And we'll come back the 10th.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. That feels like forever.
Forever, yeah.
You know, and it's like, so I couldn't imagine Michaela's called me a bunch of times, so I guess we can get out this.
Let's wrap it up. All right. We'll see you next week. Happy Christmas, Tide.
Bye, I'm still here.
Steven, Christmas.
Christmas.
All of it.
Bye.